Well, hey, Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In this episode, I'm going to be doing a review of Gundam Breaker 4. Now, of note, I'm a big fan of video games and I'm a big fan of Gundam, so there almost seems like there would be a bias toward the direction of where I'd go with this game, but yeah, let's dive in. Gundam Breaker 4 was not provided to me by Bandai Namco, so I'm not restricted in anything I can say, so I'm going to be spilling the truth. All right, and something else to show real quick, I've played for 14.1 hours. All right, so Gundam Breaker 4 would seem like it'd be the fourth entry in the series, but it's actually the fifth. There was this new Gundam Breaker that came out before, it didn't work out too well, because what these games are essentially are action games with the purpose of being a Gundam robot mobile suit from the series, from the franchise, fighting other ones and getting the parts and then building your own gunpla. I mean, that's really what it is at its core. You're just button mashing, doing moves, getting parts, building your own gunpla. So as for story, you know what? Gonna be honest with everyone here, I've been skipping the cutscenes. I kind of don't care. What this is it's a Gundam story that takes place in a fictional universe where people build gunpla and then battle them. And you know what? It's not my thing when it comes to Gundam and Gundam storytelling, but it's actually a cool way to have all the different mobile suits from different series together and have some battling going on. But I pretty much just play the levels, skip the story, can't really give much there. But gameplay and controls, this is the biggest point for me. So this is an action game in a mech. You don't necessarily feel like you're in a mech or a robot. It's basically kind of like a character action game. Think God of War, Dynasty Warriors, etc. Except your character is the gunpla you build from the parts you get from attacking enemies, which is another main aspect of the gameplay. But I want to talk about the combat first. I'm a big fan of combat and action games. This game, it's not that. If you're looking for awesome action, you're not going to find it here, but it is very pleasing action. It's very satisfying. It's cozy action. You can just sit there, mash the buttons, have a good time. And in terms of the controls as it works with the action, it's actually really cool because when you're equipping your mobile suit with weapons, whether that's melee or ranged weapons, you use the left and right hands essentially of the mobile suit. So when you're using the controls, it's kind of the same way. It's kind of an easy way to get the controls and know what weapons you have, but it also leads into the aspect that makes this basic action kind of fun, and that is mixing up of the weapons to create unique combos and to create like a satisfying way for you to want to play the game. So if you want to dual wield sabers, or if you just want to shoot all the time, or if you want to use whips, there's a lot of different options for how you can make the game feel. So what seems to be monotonous and redundant gameplay can actually be quite satisfying by creating your own kind of moveset. And so that works. It's basic, but it's fun, it's well done, and you have control. But the other aspect of the gameplay that makes this series popular is building the mobile suits, because you're getting tons of model kits from all the different series and mixing and matching parts, leveling up the parts. Part of the main draw of this is that spending time. You could spend a whole session building, painting your mobile suit, not actually going out and doing the action. And that's what's very interesting about the dynamic of this game. And it works differently for all different types of fans, because I'm the type of person that likes to build a cannon suit. No, not a suit that's a cannon, but something that's in line with Universal Century. I like to make the parts work together. I like to make the weapons look like they would work together. And then you can take your time painting. You can make it crazy. You can make it basic, add decals. But then you just get the mobile suit the way you want it so that you can go out again and fight. And that's all you're doing. You're going back out and battling again. If you're not doing the story, you're doing quests, which are just missions from the story. And then there's a bounty hunter mode. Just more ways where you can go and fight, collect GP, upgrade your parts, etc. There's also multiplayer, which I haven't been able to do yet, kind of due to time. And one time when I was trying to get a game started, I was loading into a lobby, and it was just hanging there. It wasn't loading into the game for anybody. So I really have no feedback there. And as for the graphics, I think it looks fine. It looks perfectly fine. In fact, being a PC gamer, I love how it runs on PC. I didn't really have to make any tweaks. I'm running it on Max. Yeah, I have a 3080 Ti. But even on my ROG Ally, it runs great. When I don't have it plugged in, when it's just in handheld mode on the ROG Ally, I do get about like 30 FPS, but plugged in, I can get up into the 70s, even plugged in, displaying the ROG Ally on an external display. The game runs fantastic. And I think that helps because not only is it Unreal Engine, which this same team has been using the past couple games, but also the game doesn't really require a lot. In fact, it has less particle effects and effects in general than even Gundam Breaker 3. The lighting system, for instance, it's more of a static lighting system than the dynamic lighting system. I think Gundam Breaker 3 looks better, but I think this just makes the game more optimized for what it's trying to do. All right, as for pros and cons, pros is that this is just fun to play, just to sit back and play. You don't really have to think too much. And then it's fun to just sit there and build your own mobile suit. Again, if you're like a Gundam fan, this has got everything you're going to want. Now, as for cons, some that I find very interesting in this day and age, or it could just be because I think this is at the same time like a low budget title, even though it's of a big IP, it's something that they probably kind of keep under budget, but there's no crossplay. It's not on Xbox, which is interesting because even Square Enix has announced that they have plans to make sure all their games get ported on Xbox because they know they can get exposure to a wider audience. And this is exactly what Gundam needs, and it's very interesting that they decided not to do this. And it's disappointing because Gundam Breaker 4 is a good game, but unfortunately not everyone's going to get the opportunity to play it. Not only that, without crossplay, you're going to have people that are on different platforms are not going to be able to play together. Even PS4 and PS5 can't play together. So it's rather disappointing that they released this game in 2024 with no crossplay, no Xbox. I think what this just leads to is this game might not get the sales it could, might not get the player count that it could, but it might just be the thing they do again, where then they just come out with a mobile version and then shut that down and then come out with another version. And anyway, those are interesting cons because I think what we have here, the value that they were giving us, is a good, like, kind of Gundam video game. It hits all the marks if you're a Gundam fan and you like video games. But if you're not a Gundam fan, you might not care too much. And if you don't like video games, well, actually, you might like this because it's pretty light on that, and especially if you like building Gunpla, this is the perfect way to do it. So anyway, I'm going to give this game a recommendation. I think it's a lot of fun. It's easy to get into. It's fun as a Gundam fan, and me, I just want to jump back in, blow up some robots, build some more. Yeah, it's totally worth it in my opinion. Anyway, let me know what you think below. I'm curious what everyone else thinks about this game. But yeah, until next time. Have a good one.